Welcome back to American Sunrise. I'm Dr. G. Thanks for joining us this morning. We invite you to hop in our conversation on YouTube, Getter, and Rumble. Time now to take the political pulse of America. The beat today, Dick Cheney's legacy. You knew it was coming. Former Vice President Dick Cheney, one of the most powerful and controversial figures in modern American politics, died on Tuesday at the age of 84. Now, Cheney, who once dominated Washington as the architect of the war on terror and the Iraq invasion, spent his final years at odds with the Republican Party that he once helped shape. A hardliner turned Trump critic, Cheney broke ranks with conservatives and even backed Kamala Harris in 2024. Can you guys believe that? I can't believe that. A decision that left many MAGA voters feeling completely betrayed. His legacy remains divisive, a man who projected American power abroad, but whose decisions left deep scars both overseas and at home, if we're being honest. So more, we want to talk about this. Let's bring in David Brody T.
Hello. Nice to meet you.
Good morning. Hello.
Well, let's just see if we can top our last vamping block where we all buried ourselves. David Brody. I can't talk today for some reason. I just called Steve Gruber Goober, so I don't know what's going to happen with that. David Brody, I know you have very strong feelings about Dick Cheney. I'm just going to turn you loose here.
And I'll go on and yield my time to you, David.
Yeah, we're all yielding our time to David.
What does that mean that I have very strong feelings for Dick Cheney? I don't understand.
No, I think you have strong feelings all the way around. And the reality, David, you are a veteran news guy, and you have been covering Dick Cheney for a long, long time. My assumption, I even texted you this, was that you probably interviewed him 497 times and golfed with him 6 and probably spent Christmas dinners at his home. You're like, nope, never. I'm like, oh.
I hope you did. I hope you didn't hunt with him.
I hope you didn't go hunting. I know what you're going to say. I
God,
thought the same thing.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
None of us are going to have jobs after this show.
Yeah, we're literally off the rails.
It's been fun.
It has been fun.
Doing this show has been fun. Sorry, it's over now.
Yeah. And that's why I was yielding my time to you, David, because I knew that I was going to say something off kilter. Go ahead. Sorry.
Well, here's what I have to say about Dick Cheney. Okay, so let's just go back circa 2004. All right, 2004, right? Coming out of the 9/11, and we got all of the enhanced interrogation techniques and the waterboarding. Come on. Be honest. If you're anywhere from 50 years old to 65, 70 years old, you were right in the thick of that as a conservative, and you were loving every minute of Dick Cheney at that point. You were. Don't lie.
Was.
Thank you, Gina, and so was I. And we were like, waterboarding? Heck yeah, with those terrorists.
Oh, yeah.
So
all day.
So Dick Cheney was like a hero type guy to conservatives. And then it became the ultimate womp. 72 font and bold. And because of what Trump did, right? I mean, Trump not only changed the Republican Party, he changed the Democrat Party, and Dick Cheney. It's interesting. I saw an article which I thought was wonderful, that Dick Cheney was the ultimate insider, but ended his life as the ultimate outsider. I mean, that is so true.
So true.
I mean, talk about a tale of two obits, and we talked about this before. I mean, you put an obit together in 2009. It's Dick Cheney, way to go. You are awesome. 2025, see you later, brother.
Yeah.
You know, it's just totally different.
It goes to show that the Republican Party, as you said, has changed. And Dick Cheney is probably the face of your grandfather's Republican Party, not today's Republican Party. And he did not change with the times. He did not. And, sometimes when you don't change with the times, you're left behind. And your legacy, as a result, then sometimes can change based on the current environment. And I think that's what we're likely seeing with Dick Cheney. So I agree with you. I think you make a great point. The Dick Cheney of yesteryear was a hero. The Dick Cheney of today, not necessarily so.
But the American electorate
How about just
has
not
changed so much. Yeah.
What's that, Gina?
I said, but the American electorate has changed so much.
Yes,
we got to bring in our next guest because he's going to have some great comments on all of this. Joining us now with his 2 cents, the host of America's Voice Live, Steve Gruber. Steve, here's my thought. We as Americans often think we are so right. We think we are so right. This is all Americans. This isn't just conservatives. We think, well, I have a grasp of the American political right ethos, and I'm right. And everyone else is wrong and stupid for their thoughts. Dick Cheney is a great reminder to me how much I can believe something about someone, how much I can trust someone and applaud them and be cheering for them from the sidelines or wherever I am. and be dead wrong. Dead wrong, Steve Gruber. This should be a reminder that when we look at the body politic today, because we think so-and-so is so great today, they might be the ones that betray us tomorrow. We have to be so careful. Steve Gruber.
You know, anything I could say right now or in comparison to what you said or David said would quail in comparison.
Oh, very nicely played. Nicely played.
Yes.
And can you spell potato while you're at it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you loved that, didn't you? All right, look, just duck. Did you see that low-flying bird? Yeah, right in the face. Boom. Look, we got lied to by Dick Cheney. He's a man without a country because we got lied to. Yeah. We got lied to about the Iraq War. We got lied to about the Patriot Act, which has been one of the worst pieces of legislation in the history of this country, so they can inspect, detect, reject, neglect Americans right on down the line any way they see fit. It's a terrible piece of legislation that we said, oh, this would be a good idea after 9/11. Man, we should have read the fine print. Dick Cheney lied about Iraq. How much treasure, how much life, how much blood was spilled in Iraq because we got lied to. And look, he knew. And look, Dick Cheney died, and I'm like, yes, so what? Yeah, we can be wrong. I was wrong about the Iraq War. I was wrong about Dick Cheney, who, by the way, think about this. He was hired by George W. to vet VP candidates so he could find the person to run with George W. He said, you know, I've looked around. I'm the best guy.
Right.
That's what he did. It's what he did. Yeah, look, you know, I've looked at everybody else. Don't choose me. I'm your guy. And he became a very consequential figure and a divisive figure. Look, politics has changed. You guys talked about this. And I'm going to say something here that I said immediately after the election on Tuesday. Mamdani and some of these other far-left socialist candidates have tapped into a very similar vein that got Donald Trump elected in 2024, and that is listening to people that feel forgotten, neglected, out of touch, and unable to keep up with their bills. Donald Trump connected with the middle class. Now, this might fire some people up, but this is the truth. You got populists on the left and populists on the right. I don't agree with socialism. I think it's a very dangerous track because it has proven 100% of the time to fail across the world and in this country. I mean, government grocery stores, not going to work. Free bus rides, not going to work. Gender-affirming care for anybody inside or outside of New York, catch a plane, come here, it's not going to work. There's no money to pay for it. It's insane. Raise taxes on the biggest producers, those making more than $1 million. Raise taxes on business. None of this is going to work. It's going to be an abject failure and a disaster, but Mamdani grabbed a hold of a group of people, young people specifically. 81% of young women voted for Mamdani because they're having a hard time making rent. They're having a hard time purchasing a home. They're having a hard time making ends meet, even though a lot of them have gone to school, worked hard, done what they thought they were supposed to do, and they're still not working for them. That is not unlike that same vein that Donald Trump tapped into with the middle class in America. You have populism to the left and populism to the right. And Republicans would be very mindful to pay attention to why that election went the way it did in New York City and pay attention to what people need and what they're looking for. And they're looking for a chance. They're looking for a chance that if they work hard and get a good job, that their kids can go to a good school, that they can put food on the table without sweating the bullets, and have a chance to buy a house before they're 39 years of age. I bought my first house when I was 19. I don't know if that's possible today. I don't. You know, other people in the office here bought houses in their 22, 23, 24 years old. I don't know if that's possible anymore. And I understand the angst. So it's important for the Republican Party not to just dismiss and mock Mamdani, although we'll do plenty of that. But we have to identify how he won and why he won, because it's important when you go into the midterm elections to not ignore this, but to study it and understand why it happened. And it happened because people feel forgotten. They feel like their voice doesn't matter. And their economic issues, there it is, their economic issues are front and center for them every single day.
Yeah, and I agree with all of that. Let me just add to that, though. The problem here is that a lot of folks want free stuff. And that's very appealing. It's like the Oprah Winfrey. He's like the political Oprah Winfrey. You get a car, you get a car, you get a car, you get a car. Everybody gets lollipops and gumdrops. The problem is that your taxes are going to go up. The problem is other people are going to pay for it, and it's not just the rich. And so that basically will be the problem here. So it sounds good until the bill comes at the end of the month, Steve Gruber.
Yeah.
Well, and the bill's going to be more than that, David. First of all, I mentioned the young women.
That's right.
The young women, 81% of young women in New York City voted for Mamdani. Here's the other number you have to understand. Foreign-born voters, 12% went for Sliwa, 23% for Cuomo, 62% of foreign-born voters went for Mamdani. So you look at cities like Minneapolis, where, by the way, they avoided the complete socialist lurch. They reelected the incumbent. Looks like the same thing in Seattle. But overall, foreign-born voters that left socialist, tyrannical governments are voting for socialist, tyrannical government. I mean, you heard Mamdani's acceptance speech. Where was the nice guy? He's gone. You know, turn up the volume as he's yelling at President Trump. You're going to see more of this. You're going to see more vitriol. You're going to see more anger. You're going to see some more demands. And he's now going to go after Kathy Hochul. Give me the tax hikes that we were promised when I was elected. Give them to me, or there's going to be hell to pay. 2% on those making more than $1 million. 4.5% on businesses taking up so they match New Jersey. This is going to happen, and he's going to demand of Albany everything that he promised to the voters of New York City. And if she doesn't give it to him, they're going to run her out on a rail. I mean, we're already looking at people thinking about primarying Hakeem Jeffries. The radical left wing in certain parts of this country are taking over in certain districts. Now, the question then becomes this. Does this mean the Democrat Party becomes more of a regional party? I think it does. I think it become more of a regional party because, look, people here in Detroit and in Michigan, they don't buy New York politics. I think it's probably the same in Cleveland and Philly and other places. They don't. But you have to pay attention to what they're being told. And what they're being told is, give me a chance. Give me a chance to buy a house. Give me a chance to pay my bills. Give me a chance to compete, to succeed. That's what's happening. And I truly believe it. And you just got to look at all of these things. Don't dismiss it. Look at it. And I'm telling you, Mamdani is going to be loud and proud and demand of Albany all the promises. And he's going to demand that Albany make those tax hikes so that he can pay for this progressive fever dream. That's what's going to happen.
Producers are going to kill me, Steve.
Gives it to him.
I have to say, I know how much you love radio. I've always said radio is my first love because I love the relationship you have with your audience. What I love about our new ambassadors program is that it is giving us that, just like our chat. It's like a magnified chat. It's so exciting. In a word, Steve Gruber, because the producers are really going to kill me, what do you think about the new ambassador program?
I think it's the great extension of the Real America's Voice. It gives the audience the voice that they deserve in a day when, again, they feel forgotten.
Yes, absolutely. They are not forgotten on this network. Steve Gruber, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks, Steve.
Thank you.
Coming up, Islamic activists are feeling emboldened after the election of Zohran Mamdani as mayor of New York City. We're going to dive deeper into the aftermath of the socialist takeover of the Big Apple after the break. Stay.
What if watching Real America's Voice was just the beginning?
Proud to introduce the RAV Ambassadors,
The new grassroots platform that turns viewers into leaders, connecting directly with hosts like Steve Bannon, Dr. Gina, and more.
built by patriots for patriots.
Inside the RAV Ambassadors Hub, you'll get exclusive updates, challenges, and behind-the-scenes missions straight from the people shaping the fight for faith and freedom. Every action you take, every share, post, and mission earns you points, badges, and ranks. Compete with patriots nationwide. Unlock rewards, exclusive gear, even chances to appear on air or attend live RAV events. But this isn't just about watching, it's about doing. Joining campaigns, volunteering locally, standing for truth.
This isn't just a fan platform, it's a movement, one voice at a time.
Scan the QR code or go to ravambassadors.com to join now.
Because America's voice is your voice.